All right. We should be live. Hi, hi, hi. Let's make sure that we're actually... Oh, I think it's now showing up.
You need a website. Why not do it yourself?
Ooh, sorry. Apparently I get my own. Oh, now it's tweeting it out. Skip the ad. All right, so let me see how far behind I am. One, two. Seems awful quiet, doesn't it? Maybe I'll just bring this a wee bit closer and see if that's a little bit better. Not sure what's going on this morning. It's hump day. Happy hump day. How we doing? Say hi in the comments. Just testing to see how it's coming up. See if that's a little bit better. One person's watching. If you are watching and you are watching on the share, welcome. Thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure you click and open and join me over on YouTube so that you can pop into the chat if you would. You can also, I did share this to Facebook, so hi Facebook, Live Talk Nation. I know I've shared it in there. Happy Wednesday to you. Let's go ahead and get this out of the way. It's the day after the elections. And whether you got the person that you voted for is the person that was elected or not, we can all sit there and breathe a little easier that at least we won't be seeing any political commercials for who knows how long. I don't know. I did a post this morning, and in case you want to go through this again, we have 1,454 days, so many hours and minutes until the next election. So guess what? It's coming again at some point. Me, for one, I'm glad it's all over. And that's all I'm going to do and say about that. People are happy. People are not happy. Anyway. So hi, welcome and good morning. Quick shout out to everyone that's watching on Facebook in Live Talk Nation. Jonathan is still out and away, having to be there with his family and do the family things that he needs to do. We wish him the best. You're in our thoughts and our prayers, or at least mine, and I'm sure yours as well. If you haven't reached out to Jonathan to show him some love, tag him in a message, tag him in the post below and say, hey, Jonathan, thoughts and prayers, or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So this is a follow-up to Monday and the sporadic babbling that I did on Monday. Let me go into Live Talk Nation real quick and make sure that that's showing up right. Actually, let me get out of this and get out of this and get out of that and go back, and let's see how it looks now. Sometimes you have to close a few tabs out, right? That's the way it can go. So let's see. Where is my post? There's my post. Oh my. Okay. Here we go. And if you're watching on YouTube, thanks a lot for watching on YouTube. And we're going to get going here in just a second. I'm going to start up the oh my goodness. Interesting. All right, so we've got technical things out of the way. My name's David Vaughan, and we're getting ready to get this launched off. Hope you enjoyed this. Make sure that if you have any comments or you want to say hi, I'd love to hear from you. Say hello over in the chat. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome to the Wednesday Workshop. And my name is, as it says down below, David Vaughan. Thanks a lot for tuning in. If you're watching on the replay, you're just as valued as well. This is going on live. You can always check out what I'm doing live by going to davidvaughan.live. And if you're watching in the replay, make sure that you comment down below. Give this 2 thumbs up if you got some value out of it. Today's Wednesday Workshop, we are going to be kind of following up with what I was talking about on the Monday meeting this past Monday. And loving yourself and embracing that and knowing what you want. Today we're going to be talking about rerouting. And rerouting, what does that mean? So, I've got a comment over in Facebook land. Let me see what that comment says. Oh, that was... Okay. A little bit of editing and we'll go out from there. So Terry was saying hi. Anyway, I did sit there and try something this morning. So let's talk about what I was doing first off when this began. And I probably should have played around 10 minutes before the broadcast actually started, but I got behind. Anyway, there's a service out there called Joycaster. And so I was playing with the Joycaster service, trying to do something that I don't advocate in doing, which was stream to multiple places, but I figured what the hey, I'll give it a try this morning, see if it actually works out and see what kind of interactions and everything. So I was going to try and go to YouTube and Facebook and Periscope, but that didn't work out. So anyway, I killed that stream. I'm up on YouTube, as you can see right now. Thanks a lot for everyone that's tuning in. Hey Terry, thanks a lot for joining me on YouTube. Make sure you share this out with others and get people in here because, again, we're going to be talking about rerouting. And, you know, you have to think as you grow older, you gain some experience. There's no way to gain experience except to go through something. And once you've gone through something, then you have the experience of having gone through that. And age is the only thing, unfortunately, that will gain you the experience. That's one reason why it's so frustrating when you're younger and just starting out in the business world or working for someone or trying something new. Every time that you are new at something, everyone goes through the same thing. Everyone's new to something at some point. You are just like everybody else is. And it's very frustrating for the younger viewers that I have, the 20-somethings, or maybe even younger than that, or maybe the close to 30-somethings, where you would just like to be able to be at a position. You would like to be able to have the destination already there, kind of at the snap of a finger. And in today's world of pretty much on demand, just about everything that we can get, that really doesn't help. It's I grew up in a time where, actually, when I was young, when I was 10 and younger, there were no VCRs. At least they weren't mainstream. And then I got a little older, and so when you watch TV, if you didn't, everything was live. There was no DVR, there was no VCR, there was no way to watch something that had already happened and watch the replay. so you had to catch it live. And then when I got a little older, VCRs came around that were big and clunky and all this type of stuff. And then as you get older and further along, there was DVRs. And the same can be said for, the internet. The internet wasn't a thing like it is today. I grew up before the internet, where you had to have, they were called maps. And I'm not talking about an app called Maps. They were actually maps. They were these, sometimes they were a book, which might have been called an atlas, or they were this monstrosity that you had to fold out and figure out where you were. And maybe the map that you had wasn't updated and new roads had been built. And so you couldn't find the road on the map because you didn't have the right map. And when you start with work in life, you have these intentions of this is the way it's going to work out. And nothing but, honestly, experience teaches you that's just not so. Sometimes life will throw you a curveball, and oftentimes life will throw you a curveball because you sit there and you plan something out, and then when you get through to the other side, what you had planned out isn't how it actually worked out. And so that's why we're going on the topic of rerouting. And one of the questions that I was asking is, are you buffering? So I would like to know in the comments, let me know. Have you ever been buffering before? And if you don't understand what buffering is, I'm going to get into that. And so you can come back to that question as well. But I'd love to know from the chat and the comment. And by the way, make sure you say hi in the chat so I can give you a shout out. Thanks everyone for being here, and make sure to share this out. And again, if you're watching the replay, lots of love to you too. You can always try and check me out live at davidvaughan.live and see what's going on, or you can comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. So let's talk about what you've got to do when you are not something yet, when you are trying to strive to be whatever. And this whatever can be whatever. Be a better student. And by a better student, maybe a goal is I want to be on the A honor roll, or I want to be this type of spouse, or I want to be this type of parent, or I want to have this type of job, or I want to own this type of business, or I want to have this type of house. We could go on and on and on and on. Before you get there, you don't know. Once you arrive at that destination, you were never the same as when you started out. And one of the issues that we always have is, how do I get there if I've never done it before? How do I get there if I've never gone through this before, if I've never taught someone, if I've never raised someone, if I've never worked for someone in this position or in this type of job? What do I do? And so a couple of the things that I've always found useful for myself that I learned to do was you have to think. There's a phrase out there, so let me get this out of the way, because a lot of people like to say this phrase. You have to fake it until you make it. I don't like that phrase. Faking it implies that I'm trying to be something that I'm not, and that I may never ever be. It's a very negative connotation. And so I've always used the phrase and the term, you have to make it until you make it. And so how do you make it until you make it? Well, you have to think before you are. You have to act before you are. You have to walk before you are. We all have to go through the rehearsal in order to get to the recital. And again, one of the problems with this on-demand world that we have is that I just want to instantly click a button and it be there. We don't want to go through the process. We don't want to go through the preparation. And I posted something up the other day on my page, and it was, one second, because I want to say it right, because and the reason I posted it up is because I wanted to make sure I was careful and did say it right. And okay, so here it is that it's dangerous to get something you didn't earn. It's one of the most dangerous things in the world is to have something that you didn't earn. because you don't have respect for it. You don't have respect for the pain and the steps and the process and the preparation that you went through to get it. It was just handed to you. And that's never, that it's dangerous. Because you will lose it. You will lose it. And the reason that you'll lose it is because you didn't fight for it in the first place to get it. You didn't struggle your way through to get it. And it's dangerous to have something you didn't earn. The process prepares you for earning it. And I know that sucks. I know that I'm one of the people myself. Oh, I would just rather this be done. Whatever it is, but it's the process that gets me there. It's the process that prepares me. I remember when I was I was a late teenager. I think I was 19, and I bought a motorcycle. I didn't want a car anymore. A few friends of mine had motorcycles, and I thought they were really cool, and so I wanted a motorcycle. So I bought a motorcycle, and it wasn't the best motorcycle in the world. It wasn't the fastest motorcycle or the prettiest motorcycle. In fact, it was an older motorcycle, but it was solid and had a good history with the owner. And I had never ridden a motorcycle before in my life. Now, I grew up riding a bicycle, so I knew about balance, and I was very good and could ride with no hands and all that type of stuff, riding a bicycle, and could do the wheelies and jumping and all that. I'd done it my entire life. I rode my bike almost everywhere. My mom didn't drive me to certain places as I got older. I just rode my bike there as I went. I bought this motorcycle, and somebody said to me, "You will never respect the motorcycle until you wreck." And I thought that was horrible. I was like, what the hell? I don't want to sit there and get maimed and hurt horribly or possibly die. I'll never respect it if I die. But what he was telling me, and what I found out, is after I had the motorcycle for a little while, as I got more comfortable with riding the motorcycle and how the throttle and the braking worked and really the limitations of turning and all that type of stuff, I got complacent. I got comfortable with it, and I became more daring. I was like, oh, I can go faster. A motorcycle small, and it's a lot of times much quicker than a car to zip around and all this type of stuff. And what happened is one day I got in a wreck. I was going down the road, and a car came over into my lane, and this car didn't see me evidently, and I went up on the curve, and the next thing I knew, I and the motorcycle were now sliding along the ground along the curb at 60 miles per hour. Luckily I wasn't hurt really bad, got some scars out of it, scared the ever-living mess out of me, messed up the motorcycle a little bit. But after that time, I gained a whole new respect for that beast of a motorcycle. I understood that this was, even though I thought it was a toy, it wasn't a toy. And so that was a point for me that I progressed, and because of the experience that I had had. And that was an unfortunate experience that I needed to have. And a lot of times these experiences that we go through, especially the painful growth steps that we have to go through in order to get to a certain point, once we get on that other side, once we've gotten through, we've broke through, and we've gotten to that point, and we've got that experience behind us. Let me know if you've ever sat there and said, I'm better for having gone through this. I'm more aware, I'm more knowledgeable, I'm more wise, I'm more experienced for having gone through this. It's, that like hindsight is always 20/20 type deal. Same type of thing to me. So when I talk about you have to think before you are, you have to act before you are, it's not faking it until you make it. It's making it until you make it. So how do you do this? I mean, how do you study? How do you think before you are? How do you act before you are? I mean, what do you do if I need the experience, but I don't have the experience, and you're talking about doing these? What do I do? When people come to me, you have to study, you have to research, You have to associate with other successful people that maybe you see in the direction or at the status that you're at. You don't hang out with one crowd if that crowd has nothing to do with that goal or intention that you're trying to get through, that experience that you're trying to gain. That's why as we grow older, some of the associations and friends that we have, we don't we no longer have anymore. That's I used to hang out with this group all the time. I used to be best friends with this person all the time. We did everything together, and then 5 years or 2 years or 10 years down the road, you barely talk. Maybe now you're Facebook friends, and every once in a while you say happy birthday or you like a post that they pop up every once in a while, but you're not doing everything, and it's because you've gone beyond it. That person, that relationship just didn't serve in the direction that you were going. So you have to study, you have to research, you have to associate with. If you want to make six figures in a business, then you need to look at successful people that continuously do six-figure stuff and hang out around where they hang out. Hang out in groups that pay attention to what they do and what they say and act how they want to act. And am I making sense? Let me know in the chat if I'm making sense. If I've got any questions as well, let me know what your questions are. Nothing trumps the experience, though. Nothing trumps the experience. You can do all the studying, you can do all the research, you can do all the associating with, but until you actually get that experience, until you've gone through it and you come out on the other side and you know who you are at that point and you've gotten where you go, nothing will trump the experience, not the studying, the research, and the associating with. But you have to do those until you get through the experience, until you get through to that point. But many times things will not go as you thought, though. Right? Let me know about this in the chat. Hey, Edward, thanks a lot for chiming in. I appreciate you being here. As you had planned, so a lot of times things don't go as you thought they would or as you had planned. Let me know in the chat if that rings through. And let me give you some examples. We do it in all the various stages of life or business or whatever. I'll be this when I graduate, or I'm going to go to school and study this and graduate to be this. I'll be this type of spouse. Or my spouse will be this type of spouse. And then you come through and and it's not that way at the end. I'll be this kind of parent. We hear that or see that all the time, especially with new, soon-to-be parents. The bun's in the oven, the baby's on its way, and it's, I would never do that, and I'm going to be this type of way, and my child's going to be raised this type of way, and then then they get the child and they have to start going through the steps of what it is, and they have this new bundle of joy. Children are a great example to use for this, because once you have the child and then all of a sudden the child gets a cough or a fever and they're this little baby and you don't know what to do. So what do? You call mom, or you call grandma, or you call somebody, your friend who's just whose child is a couple years older or something, and you talk about it and they walk you through. See, now that I'm talking about your study and you're associating with, you're researching, you're finding out what to do because you don't know what to do. You've never been through it. And then as a parent, you get that second child and all of a sudden the cough or the fever. It's not that you don't need to take care of it, but you've been through the experience before, and it's okay. I know what to do. This is what I did last time. But even then, each child's different and every situation's different. So you're going to learn something a little bit newer, and now you're going to have more experience to plop on top of that. Or in the business world or the professional lifestyle, I'll have this type of job. How many people come out of college and get very frustrated because they don't find this type of job? This is the job that I'm going to have. I'm going to be at the top of here, and you're actually in the mailroom. I'll have this many people on my list for entrepreneurs. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to have 500 people or 1,000 people or 50 people on my list, and you're lucky if you've got 1 or 10 that are actually working on it. Or in video. I like to talk about video and live video. And how often does this happen? I'll do this video, or I'll do this live broadcast, and everyone's going to show up. Everyone's going to view it, and everyone's going to love it, and everyone's going to comment and give 2 thumbs up and share it out, and it's just going to go viral. And it doesn't work out that way. Because that's what happens. Many times, what you thought was going to happen, and didn't really happen, did it? It didn't. But you got to go through that. You got to figure it out and then go back. But when this happens, when these curveballs get thrown at us, when life takes a different turn or a different path to get us to that destination, what happens to you? Are you buffering? Because a lot of us, that's what's happening, is that we are buffering. And so that's where, that's what, let me grab something real quick. Oops. Hold on, I promise. I promise. That's where rerouting comes in. That's why I had this image, and thanks to whoever actually posted this image up. I appreciate it very much. Your GPS that we now have, we love. When the GPS, and it still does it some today, it did it more when like the Garmin's were out there and that was it. It wasn't on everybody's phone. Google Maps and Apple Maps and all that wasn't readily available or didn't work very well. You would be going to a destination and then something would be in your way along the path to get to that destination. So you're trying to do a video and you want, and you've done the video, you've put everything together and you put it out there, and you want everybody viewing this. You want 1 million views or 100,000 views on it, and you've got 5, and that's that block along the destination to 1 million views, and you got to figure out what's going on. So just like in the map system, when something's in your path and it's blocking your way to go there, then you have to make a turn. You have to maybe turn around and find a different road. And what happens is on the GPS, on your map system, it's rerouting. It buffers sometimes while it's rerouting. It's like when the videos, when YouTube was first out there and we didn't have LTE or broadband internet at everybody's house. We were still using dial-up, or even before YouTube, and you would be watching this. Yeah, you would click to play a video and it might start up for a few seconds or maybe go a minute, and then all of a sudden it would start buffering, because it was loading up what was to come. And that's what buffering is. It's loading up what's to come to reroute us to get us onto that destination. But the problem that I've seen a lot of times with people, Safe House Studios, thanks a lot for the thumbs up. The problem that I've seen a lot of times with individuals as they've gone along is that they get stuck in the buffering. Have you ever gotten stuck in the buffering where it a lot of times it comes down to feelings? It's you get hurt or you get frustrated and you just start to give up because you didn't make it to the destination that you wanted to get to in the very first place. Well, that's life. And I know that this on-demand world sits there and doesn't help in that situation. And we see all these people, and here, talking more about like successful, the successes of certain people and business or in life, and they've got this house or this car that you admire, or they make a certain amount of money, or they always seem to be on the dream vacation. And we have this admiration of them, and we look and we say, I want that. I deserve that. I need to have that too. And we don't know the process, the preparation. We just want the result. We just want the reward, but we don't want to go through the process and the preparation that got them there. Like I've said before, and you've heard before from other people, every overnight success, was 8 to 10 years in the making. And that's pretty much true. And this goes to that post that I had on my page about it being the most dangerous to have something that you didn't earn. It's the process and the preparation that gets you to the point that you can embrace and fully respect and keep what you have earned. And because if you don't go through that, you will lose it because you don't respect it. All right, see how I'm tying everything right back in here? I know it's like a big circle, and you're like, where's David going with all this type of stuff? And I promise that I am coming up with, what it is that works out. It's the process and the preparation. It's the steps that you need to take while you're getting there. And I'm getting ready to wrap this up, so I appreciate everybody being here. And make sure to share this out and give it 2 thumbs up. Or 1 thumb up, whatever. The process, the preparation, the rerouting. When you get rerouted, when you're stuck in that, when the buffering's happening, as it's preparing you for the different path to get to the same destination, make sure that you start coming up with ways to identify when you are getting stuck. Make sure that those ways don't keep you stuck in those destinations. And again, and this is kind of ironic, it's only through experiencing being stuck in the buffering that will allow you the next time to maybe not be stuck in the buffering as long. To identify with, okay, this didn't work. Oh, I need to tweak this and get this to going here. Live video is one of this, another way. If you want to have video, if you want to do a vlog, or a live whatever, you want to Periscope and have followers and stuff, but you never go on Periscope, you're never going to have that point. Don't let there are certain barriers and obstacles that you can just go ahead and take care of right away. Don't worry about, do you have the right lighting? Or do you have the same lighting as so-and-so, or the same microphone as so-and-so, or the same camera as so-and-so, or the same background, or whatever. Just figure out some things that work. Reach out to me if you don't know, if you want some pointers. In fact, I've got a document that I'm going to be providing that will give you some basic pointers just to get you started, because you've got I'm sure you've got a smartphone, and that's really all you need. Your smartphone and your message, and a place a distraction-free place is best to be able to produce it. Live video. That's simple. Video is the exact same way. In fact, you can take your live video and then make it a video. So all these can help you get out of that buffering and get you rerouted and on to the destination of doing more videos or building your list. Building your list can be another way. Or having more clients or more sales. Or any of this type of stuff. And again, with the 2017 and you stepping into that, this is a part of the process of stepping into that 2017, stepping into that person that's there, is that you understand that it's already there. It's there and waiting for you. It's waiting for you to step into it. And so how do you step into it? You got to pick your feet up and you got to move forward. You got to take one step after the next, 1 inch after 1 inch. Football is all about inches. We look at the big goals and the scores, but those players down on the field, they're not paying attention to anything except the next inches that they have to get through in order to get through to the next step, the next first down, the next, all these different things. Lots of different metaphors and cliches that we can pop up for all this type of stuff, but I hope that this has all helped out for you. This has been a real quick talk about rerouting, getting out of, are you buffering and stuck in buffering, or are you not even on the destination, and what do you do? If you're watching the replay again, thanks a lot for sticking through to this point. Make sure you comment down below with any questions that you have. And thanks to those who are watching live. I appreciate it very much. For everyone that stuck with me on the live aspect of it. And if there's anything else that I can answer for you, like I say, leave a comment down below. Make sure you share this out. If you haven't subscribed to me, make sure you subscribe to the channel. YouTube's my place. I love YouTube. All the others are great too, and I'll be there as well, but YouTube's where I really like to be. And so that's it. Are there any questions that anybody has that's watching live at the moment that can chime in the chat while I'm still here, because I don't want to abandon you? Will there be an after show? There might be one on Smile Time. I've got a couple things that I've got to handle real quick. But in the meantime, let me know. And I know that I still need to work on why there's such a delay. So much of a delay. Because there's not a delay if I do it a different way. So, something I'm doing. Anyway, thanks a lot for everyone that chimed in. I appreciate it. If no one has any questions, I'm going to give it a little bit more time. And I need to figure out why my volume's down so much this time. Weird. Weird. Anyway, Wednesday workshop 001 rerouting. Thanks a lot for chiming in. I appreciate it. If you do have any other questions that you come up with, you can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me I'm everywhere at I am David Vaughan. On YouTube, it's David Vaughan TV. And otherwise, thanks a lot for being here. Have a great Wednesday. Remember, there's only 1,454 days, and we get to do it all again. That's the U.S. election. And we'll talk to you soon.